How's it going, everyone? I want to give you guys a heads up that yes, it has kind of crept up on us, but the PlayStation Plus game should be in fact revealed tomorrow. That is the PS Plus Essential titles. Last chance is coming up to redeem the Essential titles for the month of December. We'll talk about that, and we have a plethora of updates for you guys on various Japanese titles, JRPGs. This is going to be a big fixture in 2024. We have a trailer, a new one for one of the biggest releases of early 2024, Persona 3 Reload. Got a bit of an update on Granblue Fantasy Versus, not Relink, we talked about that yesterday, but Granblue Fantasy Versus gets some of its DLC detailed, and another major early 24 JRPG, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, gets a new trailer. We'll talk that at the end of this video. Now, before we get into this video, I just want to ask you guys, please like this video and do leave a comment with your thoughts. It really does help out the channel a lot, and it is much appreciated. Well, first of all, PlayStation Plus monthly titles for January should be revealed tomorrow. Tomorrow is, in fact, the final Wednesday of the month. That is traditionally when the titles are revealed. Sometimes if Sony's got a State of Play event or something like that, they'll announce it a little bit earlier at a different time, but that is not the case here. We should be hearing about what the Plus Essential titles for January are tomorrow, and there is yet to be a leak from Biblikun, who is the typical person to leak the game, so it looks like we'll either hear about it when Sony actually does their announcement, which is usually 12:30 to 1 p.m., and probably, I would imagine that Biblikun might say something a little bit earlier than that, but 12:30 to 1 p.m. certainly, we'll figure out what they are. That would be the Essential titles, the first Essential games for 2024. Hopefully they do start off big, because December I saw a little bit of a mixed reception. LEGO 2K Drive, Sable, and Power Wash Simulator. Sable is a game that does have some performance issues on PlayStation 5. LEGO 2K Drive is a relatively recent release. I mean, it came out 7 months ago, so I feel like there's some value in that, but a lot of people were kind of down on that. That game does have like a lot of DLC content and whatnot. And then Power Wash Simulator, I mean, that's seen as like another one of those sim titles that's been kind of memed on recently, so like that is what it is. But PlayStation Plus, I feel like for overall in 2023, pretty mediocre year. Like, I feel like every time we were talking about the Essential titles, it was a pretty big disappointment. And I don't know, like, I check the comment section, and sometimes, like, my comments can be pretty cynical, and it could be people being always upset, and obviously I do drive a lot of pessimism in you guys. I just like to be pessimistic when it comes to these things. Always expect the worst, and if they over-deliver, great, but if you're expecting the worst, then you can't be disappointed. But I just feel like every month when we talked about the Essential titles, or damn near every month, it was just people being like, this month sucks, this month's terrible, I'm canceling. I got so many, we probably got like hundreds of I'm canceling my subscription comments, especially with the price increase, no doubt. We got hundreds of comments and hundreds of people saying that, but obviously Sony seemingly is still making money hand over fist, so hopefully they do increase the value proposition. That's what I say about Plus over and over again. The price has gone up. You can still make an argument that Plus Extra is worth the price increase, but the value proposition has not gone up with the price increase. That's always what I'm going to go back to, and Plus Extra is just pricey, and Plus Essential, again, I always think it's like kind of whack that you have to pay to play online. But at the very least, let's get some good games going, and I feel like December was kind of mediocre, but we'll see if January's a little bit better. November, I believe, had Callisto Protocol, Weird West, and something else, so that was a pretty decent month, but yeah, it's been like super inconsistent as far as the Plus Essential titles, and what you do have to consider is when there is more emphasis in a higher tier subscription service with a game catalog, the monthly rotation of titles, that is going to get weaker. That happened absolutely with Xbox Live Games with Gold. It's a different ballgame when Game Pass was such a big fixture of Microsoft's game plan, but Games with Gold was pretty much done away with, so yeah, that is something to consider as well with the lesser value of the Essential titles, but we should find out what January's titles are tomorrow. Moving on from that, I do want to give you guys some quick updates on JRPGs. Persona 3 Reload has gotten its daily life trailer. Now, this is probably, for non-Persona fans, one of like the weaker trailers to get you into the game as far as, the components of the game that the game covers. It's the game's daily life elements: school life, after school, dormitory life, and days off. Now, Persona is really good about being a super lengthy game. North of 80, 100 hours, it can get pretty lengthy, and when you go 80 to 100 hours, it's very important that you keep the experience varied enough where you keep the player engaged, and Persona, I feel like, does a really good job with that. I think the RGG titles do fairly good with that as well. The RGG games, like, if you rush through the main stories, though, you can beat them fairly quickly, at least relatively speaking, compared to, Persona. Persona, you rush through the main story, it's still going to take you quite a while. Persona 3 Reload, obviously a full-up, ground-up remake of Persona 3, which is one of the most iconic PlayStation 2 JRPGs. It's saying of all time a little bit of a stretch. I think it's fairly iconic. I mean, Persona 3 was the game that kind of brought Persona to the forefront. It's like the Fallout 3, where Persona 1 and 2 don't even exist. Persona 3 is the game people think about. But yeah, I'll say it. It's one of the most iconic JRPGs of the PS2, and one of the most iconic JRPGs ever. Persona 3 Reload is coming out to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, and PC, and it will be available via Xbox Game Pass. So if you have a PC or an Xbox, that is a huge element of playing the game if you want to go that route. Like, it being on Game Pass, that's a massive W for Microsoft, Xbox, and PC, and on their platforms, because a $70 game being available day one, that's a huge addition for them. Yeah, it will be available on PS4 and PS5. Surprisingly, not available on Nintendo Switch. I would imagine it's eventually going to come to Switch. I mean, P5 was on Switch. Maybe it's a element of they're going to take a little bit more time porting it, making sure the performance is good, but that I do find surprising, and I think P3R would do very well commercially on the Switch, so a little bit surprising there, but what can you do? Game is scheduled for release February 2nd, the same week as Granblue Fantasy Relink, and the same month as Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So pack a lunch, brothers, because it's going to be a busy February. Next up, speaking of Granblue Fantasy Versus Rising, which is available now, being received very well. DLC characters of 2B, Vayne, and Beatrix have been announced. So new characters have been announced. Obviously, 2B from Nier Automata. Publisher Side Games and developer Arc System Works have announced Granblue Fantasy Versus Rising downloadable content, Character Pass 1 characters, 2B from Nier Automata, and Vayne and Beatrix as well as separate characters. 2B is scheduled for a release in February of 2024, Vayne in April, and Beatrix in May. Lucius will launch alongside the game's version 1.10 update on January the 16th. 2 unannounced characters will be coming in August and October, but those have not been detailed. So this is the fighting game with the Granblue IP. It's been received very well. Arc System Works obviously have a track record of delivering super slick fighting games, so something to check out there as well. And then lastly, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth gets a character spotlight trailer showcasing some of the main characters of that game. This is one of those games that's coming out very early on in 2024 and really kicking off the wave of monster release after monster release. Maybe you can say Prince of Persia Lost Crown is the first really big release of 24, or even Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, but Last of Us Part 2 Remastered is a remaster, even with the roguelite mode, and Prince of Persia Lost Crown I just feel like doesn't have a ton of steam behind it. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, I see a lot of people excited for it, and on that same day you have the release of Tekken 8, and then after that, like, it's just over. It is over for our wallets. It's gonna be so insane, but yeah, very much excited for this. This is gonna be one that's gonna be difficult to juggle, because if you're picking this up on January, like, I'm looking at it from my lens. January 26th, I want to play some Tekken, man. I want to play some Tekken 8, even though I'm not big on fighting games, but I definitely want to play some Infinite Wealth, so juggling those two is going to be interesting, leading into the following week where, like, honestly, guys, P3R for me, like, how I'm assessing it right now, I think that's going to hit the back burner for me. Look, I've completed Persona 3 multiple times, completed P3P. For now, I think that game's going to take a bit of a back burner. Obviously, I'm going to get it, but probably gonna have to start that at a quieter time, because when you talk about Infinite Wealth, also got like Granblue Fantasy Relink for me, and I uploaded that video yesterday and asked you guys, like, which game you're more excited for. Like, for me, it is Relink. It being a brand new game, like, sorry, that's the one I'm more interested in, and I haven't been as crazy of a Persona fan, and I know some Persona fans are absolutely, like, they need their Persona, and if you're one of those, yo, more power to you, but for me, like, Granblue Relink is what I'm gonna go with. But still, juggling a game at the scale of Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth and Granblue Relink, that's going to be pretty difficult as well. It's going to be a fun time. It's good problems to have. Let's be real. It's good problems to have, but Infinite Wealth is going to be a game that's going to be a sizable outing, and obviously, do not be jumping into this without playing the other games. Like, this is one that you probably want to play Yakuza 0 and Kiwami at the very least. Maybe you don't want to play, you don't have to play all 6 games, and some people will probably argue you do, and you definitely should play Yakuza Like a Dragon. That's just my 2 cents. You guys can do whatever the hell you want to do, but that is going to do it for me. Again, PlayStation Plus titles should be revealed tomorrow, and we got a bunch of updates on Japanese titles. Persona 3R, Granblue Fantasy Versus, does detail some downloadable characters, and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. That's going to be here before you know, 1 month to the day, guys, until the release of that. So things are heating up, and dare I say, guys, I don't even think I have to say dare I say. Like, I'm big into Japanese games, so I'll confidently say I'm more excited about Q1 2024 than I am for this last quarter of 2023. I think the game lineup is better for my taste. It's a better lineup, and yeah, you got FF7 Rebirth, which is just as big as any title that came out Q4 to me. Alan Wake 2, Spider-Man 2, FF7 Rebirth is as big, if not bigger, than Spider-Man 2, to be quite frank, for me personally. That could be very person to person, but that's why we're going to be talking about Q1 quite a bit, because there's a lot to sink our teeth into, and certainly Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is one of the biggest games for a lot of people, depending how into the RGG titles you are, that might be your biggest game release of the quarter, easily. And then, obviously, March, Dogma 2, Rise of the Ronin, Unicorn Overlord by a freaking, oh my goodness, Vanillaware. Like, it's just gonna be crazy, guys. But that'll do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.